When he went bankrupt, we went and bought the brand name from the bank, and we are producing the Baker guitars now. The next one you see, the natural one, is what we're producing today. Now, we've decided that we needed a mass-produced guitar and something to compete at the lower level. So with these we're actually having these CNC built, and our original plan was not to do them that way, but seeing as how the original Bakers were all CNC built, we felt that we could do it for a whole lot less money. These guitars are going to sell for approximately 1/3 what the Bakers sold for when they were new. You'll actually be able to buy these guitars for under $1,000 now. Like the one you're looking at in the picture is probably, it's pretty maxed out, ebony fretboard, killer quilt top, full inlays, ebony board, bound neck, gold hardware. That one is probably going to sell somewhere in the 16 to 17 range. You see, the difference in a production guitar is it costs so much less in labor to manufacture. The next guitar you see is a Scorpion. We build that in our shop here. We only build about 6 or 8 of these a year. And for a very, very small group of Ibanez fans who want something American-made, extremely high quality. They want a real Floyd and Seymour Duncan pickups, which don't exist on Ibanez's. You ever notice how strange? It's always been strange to me that there's not a single Ibanez endorser who endorses Seymour Duncan pickups. Every single Ibanez endorser, and there are lots of them, all seem to endorse DiMarzio pickups. What's up with that? That can't be true, because I know some of these guys personally, and I'm here to tell you that they do not use DiMarzio pickups. Yet they say that the Ibanez players all use DiMarzio pickups. It's my opinion that there's a sweetheart deal between DiMarzio and them, and that's why all the Ibanez's all seem to be DiMarzio. The next one is a grade upwards of the Scorpion. It's the same guitar, but built from Carina, solid black Carina. We have a Carina overlay on the headstock. You can get a good look at the headstock. They're 24 frets, available with rosewood, ebony, maple neck. You can get them in 10 or 15 different types of woods. You can have almost anything you wanted done to it. You can have the knobs where you want them. You can have it with a pickguard, without a pickguard. If you want this monkey grip thing, you can have that also. Much better playing than the production models that you can buy in most stores. The next guitar you see is a Scorpion in solid Carina. However, this Scorpion is a little bit different. It's we call it the Scorpion Rebel. And you guys can come up with your own reason why we decided to call it the Rebel. It's pretty obvious, but I think you guys can figure that one out for yourselves, read between the lines. The next one is our version of Randy Rhoads' original guitar. You can see the headstock is the Harpoon headstock. And you can see that it's got the traditional signature bow tie inlays. The pickups are, we did some extensive research, and the pickups are the same pickups that Randy was using. The polka dots are all 3/4 inch, which is the same size of Randy's. Jackson reissued this guitar a few years ago and did it with 1-inch polka dots. The 1-inch polka dots kind of look better to me, but the 3/4 inch polka dots on here are exactly like what Randy had. The switches are in the same place, the knobs are in the same place. It is an exact duplicate of Randy Rhoads' guitar. Okay, here you see the J-Frog Skull and Bones, the famous George Lynch guitar from the 80s. Built for him by Johnny Frog. We purchased the rights to this a few years ago, and I want to make it very, very clear that this is not an ESP guitar. ESP guitars are completely Japanese made, and this is not an ESP guitar. This is an American-made J-Frog original guitar with a certificate of authenticity signed by J-Frog. We build approximately one a month, and we can just about keep up with the demand at one a month. Christmas time we generally need a few, we generally get behind a little bit. But it's completely correct, right down to the gold tooth. The one you see is in Day-Glo paint, Day-Glo white. Ebony fretboard, reversed headstock. Normally they're not done in Day-Glo. Normally they're done in a kind of a matte finish bone color. We offer a choice on that. The original model that George had was a matte finish bone color. This one feels better on your hands if it's a thicker finish, and it feels better against your body. It feels better against your hands if you decide you want to hold it for some reason. The other one is a matte finish and doesn't have the texture. I have one on the wall up there with the matte finish. You can actually pan right up there and see it. There's a body. Incidentally, all the bodies we have here are for sale. We have tons of different bodies available for purchase. Okay, the next guitar you see is the, we call it the Juvenile Delinquent. We've only made very few of these over the years, less than 10 maybe. It's an improvement over the original Les Paul design model, but it's very much like Les Paul's design in that Les Paul designed his guitars to be neck through body. They were called the Log, and then it had two wings on them. This is built in exactly the same fashion. It's not glued on at the neck joint. It also has 24 frets with an ebony fretboard and fully bound neck and headstock. The particular guitar has a solid Carina neck and body. Some of the most beautiful Carina that we've used is on that guitar. And then next to it we have a red version of the same guitar. We offer this guitar with the upside down crosses a la Tony Iommi. We actually use the original pickups that Tony used. If you wanted the Tony Iommi pickups, of course they are available. Next you see the, I don't know what to call that monstrosity. I think we call it the Gumby. In any case, that is made after a model guitar that was built years ago by an ex-Gibson employee using some Gibson parts, and became notorious because it was the guitar that Gibson made that Gibson didn't make. It was never produced by Gibson officially until 1983, and supposedly there was the original versions were made in 1957. Some guy made them in his home. He had some Flying V parts that he used, and I guess there were some broken parts from an Explorer. He glued them all up and just created this thing. Very Art Deco kind of retro look. Personally, if I was building these, I would have used a